sent in some questions. I highly suggest you grab some popcorn and grab a cute beverage, because this video is going to be an interesting one. This video is a very intimate talk for the girlies. I will be answering all of your burning questions on topics like boys, dating, sex, periods, beauty hacks, shaving down there, and so much more. So now you don't have to work up the courage to ask anybody else. Chapter number 1, sex. How can you be single and content when you're just horny and crave physical closeness? Girl, I feel you. For those of you who don't know, I did 1 whole year of self-love, and this meant not dating, not getting into relationships, and being abstinent for a whole year. But this is where the magic of self-pleasure comes in, okay ladies? You can literally do everything for yourself, if not better than what a man can do for you. Learn your body, invest in a good vibrator, figure out what you like, experiment. What does it take for you to reach the big O? And this is so good because when you do eventually go back to dating, being in relationships, being intimate with others, then you'll actually know what you like and what your preferences are, and you'll end up having better sexual experiences with other people because you took the time to prioritize your self-pleasure first, and that in itself is an act of self-love. But unfortunately, there is a whole stigma around female self-pleasure, which is so disappointing. And from so many of the other questions I got, I noticed so many people questioning as to whether they should be engaging in self-pleasure or not, whether it's right to masturbate, and just feeling shame about it overall. And to those people, I really want to recommend this platform for you. Cheeks is an online platform which offers a safe space for sexual entertainment and sexual education. In conclusion, who said you needed someone else to feel physically satisfied? Is sex supposed to hurt, and how can you make it not hurt? Right, so it's very common for it to hurt the first few times, for example when you've lost your virginity, but once you've had sex 2 or 3 times, it should not hurt anymore. That is not normal. If it feels a little bit uncomfy sometimes, then that could just be due to friction. This is where lubrication comes in. So of course our bodies have natural lubricant, but if you're struggling in that area, maybe you suffer from vaginal dryness, this is where store-bought lubricant will save you, and there is no shame in buying it, okay? It's so normal, it's so common, so many people use it. I would say use that, start slow, communicate with your partner what you like, and I definitely think you should be starting with foreplay and not just going right into it, because our vagina expands, right? So like, especially if you haven't had sex in a while, maybe it's been a week, maybe it's been a month, and your vagina is kind of tight and it needs to open up a little bit and lubricate itself to get ready for sex. So if you're going into it straight away, it's going to hurt. It could be caused by something more serious like endometriosis, or you could be suffering from vaginal infections like vaginismus, for example. How much is too many partners? I assume big numbers means you have a problem. You know, I've always been torn on this question because one side of me really thinks it's just not the right choice to be able to make that judgment on somebody's past. Like, I wasn't in your life then, I don't know what you were going through, I don't know why you made those choices. At the end of the day, you don't know why people make the choices they make, and I don't think it's fair to equate somebody's body count to their character or whether they're good for you or not. On the other hand, I can see how some people would link like a lower body count to that person has really high standards, or they're very serious with their relationships. I do get that, but I think it's a very private matter, and just openly asking people with that much courage is kind of weird. Like, whenever I've dated and a guy would just ask me like that, like, are you a virgin? What's your body count? I'm like, ew. Plus, I don't even know what like a lot is. To me, like double digits, like touching 10 is like a lot to me, if you want to know my opinion. But to some people it's not. Like, I'm sure some people out there have like 20, 30, and to me that seems crazy, but to others it might be normal. How to deal with yourself when you made the mistake of giving away your virginity. I got a few questions on this, like I lost my virginity to the wrong person, etc. And my answer to this is that I think we need to stop placing so much importance on virginity. And this comes from someone who once did. And don't get me wrong, I do think you should be patient with when you're ready to do it for the first time, and you shouldn't just give it away to anybody. But also, if you didn't like your first time or you're having regrets about it, don't let that translate into guilt or shame, or then having to deal with yourself. So you regret your decision and who you poured some of your sexual energy into. That's okay, and it happens to a lot of people. We need to stop stressing about virginity because it is an ancient concept which was literally created to be able to determine a woman's worth or value based on whether she had slept with someone yet or not. Your first time wasn't ideal, and I am so sorry for that, but you learned a lesson from it and you will grow from it, and that is all that matters. Opinions on one night stands. I've only been with boyfriends, but I'm now single for the summer. and I attach easily. Okay, so I don't engage in hookup culture. I never have and I never will. But I do relate to this question. I went through a phase where I was finally done with being in committed relationships and I was in my single era, and it was summer. And I was in university, and hookup culture is so normalized there, where because I was surrounded by it all the time, I started thinking like, should I just do this? Because it was just the norm. Like, why am I not doing it? And I am so glad that I didn't act on that feeling, because I already know sitting here I would have regretted it, because it's never been a part of my values. I don't see one night stands as liberating. I see it as damaging and extremely risky. Women think with our hearts, right? We attach easily, especially when it comes to having sex. Men don't think the same. They can detach very easily during the process, and then instantly there's this mismatch, and that's where so many women are then left with lower confidence and lower self-esteem, worrying about a guy and chasing him. When is he gonna call me? Because we had this one magical night when the guy's not thinking about you in the same way. You'll instantly feel emptier afterwards, because you kind of feel like you gave a piece of yourself away, and you kind of gave a little bit of your power away. Also, it's a literal transfer of energy with a stranger, someone you barely know, someone who hasn't earned your time and your energy and respect. Why would you want to give that to them? That is just my opinion. There might be some women who feel empowered from hookup culture. I personally have never heard their stories, but how long should you wait before having sex? I think when you're either exclusive or in the labeled relationship, which will be within the first 3 months. I fully think that you should make the man wait. Like, he has to earn it. He has to wine and dine you first to be able to have the privilege of being intimate with you. Plus, it's the perfect test, because it says and shows a lot about his character if he is willing to put in the time, and it shows that he's not all about that one thing. Like, he is actually interested and committed in spending time with you and getting to know you, and he doesn't even care that you're going to make him wait 3 to 4 months, because he's like, it's fine. I'm loving spending every day with you until then. How do you feel confident in your body? I'm skinny, but guys like thick girls. Well, it's funny you ask that, because I got a question from another girl for this same video who said, I'm really insecure about my curvier body type because I constantly feel self-conscious during sex and like I should be skinnier. And the reason I brought that up is because it just goes to show us girls make up these problems in our heads. We think guys really care and they're fussy and they have this like set type of what they want in a girl. No, they don't, okay? As soon as a guy is in a room with a naked girl, he is over the moon. He doesn't care what she looks like. He doesn't care if she has cellulite, if she has big thighs, small thighs. If you have ever been intimate with a man, has he ever asked you to leave the room? No. And would he ever? No, because men are not that picky. Us women are so used to picking out all of our flaws in the mirror, learning new beauty rituals and routines on how to be more attractive. Men don't think like that. But on a day-to-day basis, if you want to maximize your body confidence, I would say it probably starts with clothes, like knowing your body type and which clothes are going to look the most flattering on you. So for example, I have a much skinnier frame, so I won't wear certain dresses or certain tops that kind of accentuate my cleavage because I have no cleavage, so it just doesn't look right on me. And an amazing tip that I would use whenever I got insecure about not having curves is looking at celebrities and influencers who share your body type and basically curating your TikTok feed, your Instagram feed to people who look like you. I could choose to fixate on the fact that I don't have a huge bum and I don't have a huge bust, but neither does Ariana Grande. She doesn't care, so why am I? You need to practice the art of staring at your naked body in a mirror for at least 5 minutes a day. Did you know there's an actual like statistic out there where apparently women cannot look at their naked bodies in the mirror for more than 5 seconds without wanting to look away? Because if you feel insecure and shame around your body, then you don't look at it in the mirror and you try to hide it with clothes and you don't show it in pictures, and instead what your eyes are constantly seeing is pictures of what your body should look like on social media, or comparing your body to just fixating your vision on what other people's bodies look like in real life or on social media. And then your perception is completely skewed because you're always used to looking at a body that isn't yours, appreciating bodies that aren't yours. Do's and don'ts for your first time. Don't have sex because everybody around you is and you're scared of turning into a 25-year-old virgin. There's no shame in that. Don't do it because you feel like you'll get left behind or it's cooler to lose it at a younger age, because you will regret it when you're older. Do communicate with your partner or your date anytime before or after you choose to get intimate. Learn each other's preferences. Don't disconnect with your body just to connect with his. Do prioritize and learn about your own pleasure instead of dismissing it because it's easier. Don't get in your head about how you or your body looks. Do start staring at your naked body in a mirror every day. Do pee right after sleeping with someone. Do start at a slow pace and don't feel embarrassed about it. Don't try to recreate pornography or live up to his fantasies, because you will ruin the entire experience for yourself and him in the long run. Do spend majority of the time on foreplay right at the beginning. And lastly, do use a period tracker. You need to know when you're next going to bleed, when your ovulation is. How do you know when to trust a man for sex? I lost my virginity to a boy who I thought I could. It's a simple answer. Make them wait. In the time that you're making them wait, and you're pushing it and you're pushing it, and it's been like a month or two and you're not giving it to them, see how much they suggest it. See how much they ask for it. See how much they sexualize you in that time. If they are doing any of the above, they are not worth it, and you should not trust them, because it shows that their mind only revolves around one thing and they do not respect you as a person. They should be in it to spend time with you and to genuinely get to know you. And the last question for the sex chapter. What do you think about sex before marriage? I got a lot of questions around this and around virginity and like saving yourself and all of that. And honestly, I think to each their own. Everybody's different. I personally wouldn't do it. I really think that sex is as big of a part into a relationship as the love and care part is. And I'm just the biggest believer that you should do everything with someone before you get into a marriage with them. That includes traveling the world with them, arguing with them, living with them, meeting their family, all of the experiences, and of course that includes sex, because sex is a huge part of a relationship. And what if you have great chemistry and you love and care for each other, but sexually you don't, and you don't align, and it doesn't work? You don't want to spend the rest of your life having to deal with that. So that's why personally it doesn't work for me. But when people say, you know, I'm a virgin and I'm saving myself for like the one and for marriage, I think that's a beautiful thing, to be in a long-term relationship with someone, willing to wait until you get married, because in that process you're really just prioritizing the love and the care that you have for each other, and I think that's wonderful. Chapter 2, boys. My ex still keeps drunk texting me from time to time. How is he still texting you? You should have him blocked on every single thing. I'm talking Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, Gmail, everything. His phone number, he can't text you, he can't WhatsApp you, call you, nothing. Zilch, zero. I did that to my most toxic ex, who literally wouldn't leave me alone, and then he continued to email me every few months just to make sure he was just staying in the back of my mind. Yeah. And when you block someone on email, they still keep coming through in your spam folder, right? So then my commitment to not allowing this man a place in my life was, I spoke to my IT friend and they basically helped me, where anytime he tried to email me, it would go to this other place. Like, it would immediately get deleted. I would never see it, and it would never actually reach my inbox or my spam folder. That should be everyone's level of commitment to their ex is trying to reach out. They're gonna keep annoying you and you can't control that, but it is your responsibility to prevent any potential form of communication with them, and that is in honor of the true love of your life, yourself, your future, and your peace. Okay, so I like this guy, but he has a girlfriend, but it's long distance. Should I flirt or back away? Back away. Please, please back away. Because girl, imagine this was your man. Imagine this was your man and there was another girl contemplating if she should flirt with him or not. From this question, I am getting the vibe that your concern here is that it's long distance and not the fact that he has a whole girlfriend. My boy best friend likes me and I like him too, but we are scared to ruin the friendship. This is a toughie. It is better to try and fail rather than spend any more time wasting your life wondering what if. Connections with the people that we adore the most come to an end, okay? Nothing is meant to last forever. But if you feel so strongly for someone, it is your responsibility to act on that urge, because what if something magical happens? What if it turns out better than you could have ever imagined? Me personally, if I was in the situation, I would charge at that desire. Like, imagine yourself in 5 years time, if your boy best friend now is in a serious relationship and you're like, damn, like, what if that could have been me? And maybe if I just said something, things would be different. You don't want to be in that situation. If it breaks, let it break, knowing that you gave it your all, with all of your courage. How do I be a lover girl in hookup culture? Solo date, self-love, and stop normalizing hookup culture. Listen, I didn't even realize that hookup culture was common until I went to university, and then it was all around me, and all of a sudden it affected my mindset. I thought, I'm never gonna find a serious boyfriend. Boys' mindsets are so screwed up. All they want is sex. No one's ever gonna commit to me. I'm never gonna find true love, yada yada yada. Then I cut off all of the toxic people in my circle at university. I graduated, moved back to my hometown, basically isolated myself, although I still spent time with my really good friends, focused on myself, my career, leveling up, becoming my best self, and then my mind is clear again. And hookup culture and one night stands were no longer normalized. Now I could understand how many men would be out there that don't engage in one night stands, that truly value having high standards and being in a serious relationship with a woman, because they understand the importance of that and the value it will bring into their lives. Separate yourself from the hookup culture. I'm always going to be an advocate for focusing on yourself, but if you want to actively date, if you want to approach guys and you're on dating apps, make your intentions clear. You have no time to waste, okay? You need to say, I want this to be exclusive. I'm looking for a serious relationship. I'm not one to want to have intercourse straight away. That is completely fine and safe and good of you. How do you know if he's the one? I love this question. This is my favorite question because, oh my god, did I spend years wondering this and wondering this. Do you know how many times I've googled this question, and Google does not help, but I finally have the answer. So there are two parts to the answer to this question. Part one is the signs, okay? I think you know when he's the one when he truly loves you. What does love mean though? What is true love? How do we know that someone genuinely loves us? If they follow the 7 components of real love. This was theorized by Bell Hooks in her book All About Love. You can only love someone if you give the 7 components of love to them. If you give them 6, you don't truly love them, okay? You can't lack any of these. So the 7 components are care, affection, recognition, respect, trust, commitment, and honest and open communication. I want you to write down those components I just said, and then next to each term I want you to write down what does that term mean to you, because it's going to manifest in different ways in people's lives. What does it mean for someone to care about you? How would they show that they respect you? And then one more sign that I want to mention is if your inner child feels safe with them. Not your current self, your inner child. And I mean the goofy, unfiltered, imperfect version of you gets to come out and play and be free and feel fully seen and accepted and loved and cherished. So this is not about the entire relationship being perfect. You're still gonna get triggered, you're still gonna get upset, you're still gonna have to have difficult conversations. But when this person is the one, it's when they are committed to learning you inside and out every single day. It's when they are committed to the lifelong, never-ending journey of learning how to love you as you change and you evolve. It's a mission and a commitment to one another to want to lessen each other's sufferings throughout your lifetime, to be there through thick and thin. And part 2 to this question is you make them the one. Every single relationship needs work. Not every single relationship is perfect. Sometimes you need to kind of fill in each other's flaws and weaknesses and show up for each other. And in these times, in these hard times, you have to work at it to make them the one. Okay, you triggered me because of so and so, or I feel misunderstood because you said this or that. I'm gonna now sit down and communicate with you. I need you to do this. I don't want you to say this because or X, Y, or Z. I know you did this to try and make me feel loved, but that's not how I feel loved. I want you to do this instead. How to approach a guy. I got so many questions on how do you start talking to a guy that you like, all of that. Love this question. It is a tricky thing to get your head around. Step number 1 is confidence. You cannot let a man have the power in this conversation, because the second that they realize that you're nervous or you're kind of shy, they're going to take advantage of you. You need to have the power in this situation, and the key to this is faking it till you make it. You better strut over there, you better look them in the eyes. I don't care if in your head you are screaming with fear. You're gonna look them in their eyes. You're gonna embody the baddest, sexiest, most confident version of yourself, and you're gonna look at them and you're gonna be like, hi, how are you doing? Or the best way to start is by complimenting them. And this is why people get it twisted. Just because it's a random guy, a guy you like, doesn't mean you treat the conversation any different to how you would approach a stranger that you're trying to make friends with. The immediate way to disarm someone is to compliment them. So you go up to him and you pick something that he's wearing or doing to start and stimulate the conversation. You have to treat it so casually, like it's nothing. Like, you're like, but I'm just talking to you, you're just another person. Even though on the inside you're like, this is the hottest person I've ever seen and oh my god, I want you to have my babies. You can't let them think that, and you can't treat it like that. All of those thoughts need to go away for a second. This is just another person. the worst thing you can do in this situation is put them on a pedestal. And then you need to be lighthearted and funny. That's what they're going to find the most attractive. And most importantly, be yourself. Don't do yourself a disservice by trying to be something you're not, because that's not going to work out well for you in the long run. And you need to talk like you just don't give an F. Especially the fact that you don't care how you're perceived, because you shouldn't. I don't care what a guy thinks of me. I don't care what your perception is of me. I like you. You've piqued my interest, so I'm just going to go to see what you're about. Maybe ask you a few questions. See if you reciprocate that interest back to me. If you don't, no biggie. How to make someone value you. You can't. You can just see your own value. And if someone else can't, that's on them. And then it's your responsibility to walk away from that. Not everyone is for you. Everybody values different things, right? People have different hobbies and different career interests and different things they look for in friendships and relationships. So how can you expect yourself to be for everybody? You can't. So of course there are going to be some people out there who don't value you. That's normal. That does not diminish your worth or how desirable you are. But it goes to show that you can't change anybody's mind about you, nor should you try to. You should only be with and make an effort with somebody who you don't have to prove yourself to. Somebody seeing and appreciating your value comes naturally. It should not have to be forced or made. Is right person, wrong time real? Oh, I love this question, and I used to preach about this on the internet, okay? I used to have this answer, right? This go-to answer, and I love this answer, but then I met my boyfriend and I was like, right person, wrong time isn't real, because the right people are timeless. Time isn't even a factor to the people who just love you and care about you and appreciate you inside out, okay? They will put in the work, they will do the long distance, they will make time for you, they'll work on their time management skill, they'll try and fix their attachment style for you, they will do whatever it takes to make it work for you. Why would they use time as an excuse when they know they found the one? You're their person, right? If you are the right person, why would they let you go? You would have chased them, you would have changed up your schedule, you would have communicated through the problem and tried to come up with a solution as to how you could have made it work, but you didn't. So no, they weren't the right person, because for the right person, for your soulmate, you would do everything for the chance to be with them. And then this is where things get complicated. That was always my mindset. And then I met my current boyfriend. Nobody knows this, I haven't even said this on the internet, but everyone wants to know how we met. He came into my life at the 6-month mark of my self-love year. And he expressed his interest in me, and he wanted to date me, and he wanted to be with me. And I said no, I was like, I'm not ready, and I have a lot of healing to do. And I wasn't with him. But I maintained a friendship with him. Then my self-love year was over and I was dating again, so he expressed his interest to me again, and I was like, yeah, sure. So we dated for a while, and then I cut things off because I was getting triggered and I had an avoidant attachment style, and I could not deal with being in a relationship, let alone a healthy one. Being in my first ever healthy relationship triggered me so bad. It felt so uncomfortable to me. I didn't like it. Instantly I was like, I can't, this is boring, you're not the right person for me, this doesn't feel thrilling, where's the roller coaster of emotions, where's the chaos? And we went our separate ways. And then by fate, 2 months later, we were in the same place at the same time. I looked to my right, I was in a crowd of 40,000 people at a festival, and he's standing right there. And I was like, and he was like, the day after he texted me and I texted him, and we went on another date, and since then we've been together and we've been boyfriend and girlfriend. But initially we both thought about each other, right person, wrong time, because we treated each other well, we had really great dates. I just wasn't ready for him. And so I could be the kind of person that's like, oh, well, he's always been my person because we're in a happy loving relationship now, but last year was like the wrong time and I wasn't ready for him. But it's not true. And this is why I still believe that right person, wrong time isn't real, because I was a different person then. I was still the wrong person for him, and he was the wrong person for me back then. I wasn't meant for him. I wasn't even willing to put the work in for him back then. So he shouldn't have been with me, and it wasn't right person, wrong time. I evolved into the newest version of me, and only then were we compatible. Time was never a factor. Sometimes it's about not aligning with that version of a person because they're not putting that effort in for you. I liked a boy. He talked to me for 6 months and then woke up and chose to say, I don't want to commit. Oh my God. you shouldn't even let it get to 2 months without having the exclusivity or relationship conversation. And if that sounds crazy to you, then you have officially been taken over by this whole stupid concept of situationships. I'm sorry. Next time you're in a talking stage with someone, by the end of the first month, you need to pluck up the courage to sit down with them and have the conversation. What are your intentions? Where is this going? Do you see us being in a relationship? Yes? Okay, let's be exclusive. Are you seeing other people? Why are you still seeing other people? I think we should be exclusive with each other. You need to say everything and lay your cards on the table. I don't care if it feels uncomfortable or awkward or you're shy. Then you're prioritizing another person's comfort who's going to break your heart in 6 months over your own peace and valuable time. You owe it to yourself to sit with that temporary discomfort and lay out your cards and your intentions so you can protect your future. Is it normal my boyfriend asks me for nudes because I feel like he only uses me for it? No, it is not normal. Please leave, okay? Whoever sent this question, I'm looking at you personally right now. I am begging you, me, Tam, I am begging you, leave ASAP. That gut feeling is there for a reason. I promise you, there is no way you are wrong in this situation. You are going to come across a wonderful man one day who is going to give you everything you could have ever dreamed of, give you all the respect and all the princess treatment, and will never ask you to send naked pictures of yourself for his pleasure when you do not want to. So please do not prolong the process of finding the man that actually deserves you for this guy that you're currently having to deal with. In my personal opinion, I think it's really important for the guy in the relationship to have self-control, and so intimacy is really only reserved for when you're together in person and you feel like it and you consent to it, and you are not obligated to have intercourse or to get intimate with him every single time you see him, because he does just value just talking to you and just taking you on a date without expecting any of that in return every single time. I promise you, that's normal, not this. My heart is actually racing because it genuinely pains me to know that there are girls out there that are doing that because they think that's what they should be doing, when it most definitely is not. And at the same time, it angers me that there are so many men out there who feel entitled to that and feel so comfortable asking girls for that. It's disgusting. I'm gonna take a breather and then I'll come back to the next question. Welcome back. Last question for this chapter: how to be independent in a relationship. I love this question, so important. More people need to talk about this, and as the queen of self-love who is now in a relationship, you already know I got the best answers. So step number 1 is solo dating. Take me for an example. I went for a solo date this morning. I went to another city, I got my nails done, and then I went out for a lunch, I got myself a Starbucks, all of that, and I went on a date with my boyfriend 3 days ago. In the same week, 1 date with my boyfriend, 1 date with myself, because I will still always prioritize myself. I don't care if my boyfriend gets me flowers and wines and dines me, I'm still gonna do it for myself. I am my own first love. I am my own best friend. That does not go away just because now I'm in a relationship with somebody else. This relationship here is forever. Guaranteed, no matter what. So many people make the mistake of giving up the time they once committed to their hobbies when they were in their single era to now giving that time to dating their boyfriend. Go on date nights, but make sure you have carved out at least 1 hour minimum a week, okay? That's super easy. You can find that time to do what you used to love. Whether it's even just watching Netflix all on your own, whether it's reading a book, writing something, drawing, painting, going on a walk. Same with scheduling another hour once a week for family or friend time. It is so important to realize you can receive and give love and care to all of the other people in your life, and there are different types of love and care and affection you can receive from these people. We're gonna end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a little bit different. I loved it, just like talking to you guys super casually. If you did, thumbs up and comment down below. Let me know what you liked about this video, because I would love to know for future video ideas and stuff. Don't forget that I do have a podcast on Apple and Spotify, so you can listen to all of my YouTube videos in audio format, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you. Bye.